This is a plain block of wood, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly how to turn one into this, even if you've never held a carving knife. I'm going to give you the whole beginner picture in one place: the tools, the wood, the grips, how to keep your tools sharp, and a full first project. No fluff, no upsell. Most beginners quit in the first week, not because carving is hard, but because nobody told them these basics in order. So we're doing them in order, start to finish. 7 chapters. Use the timestamps below to jump around. But if this is genuinely day one for you, just watch straight through. Let's start with the tools. Search carving tools and you'll get sets with 20 pieces. You don't need 20. To start carving today, you need exactly 3 and 2 more that make life easier. One, a whittling knife. This is your workhorse, the big cuts, the rough shaping, 90% of everything. If you buy one single tool, buy this. 2, a detail carving knife. Short, pointed blade for the small stuff a big blade can't reach. Eyes, nostrils, tight corners. Think of it as your fine pen. 3, a spoon carving hook knife. This one's optional on day one, but the moment you want to hollow anything, a spoon, a little bowl, nothing does the job better. Curved blade, scoops out the inside. And the 2 that make it easy, a leather strop with polishing compound, that's what keeps the edge sharp like new, and hand protection like grippy cut resistant tape. Cheap but reliable insurance for your hands. So that's the whole kit: whittling knife, detail knife, spoon carving knife, a leather strop, and something to protect your fingers. Now, what to skip? Skip the big gouge sets, the mallet, the palm chisels. For now, they're not bad, they're just the wrong first purchase. They'll end up sitting in a drawer while your knife does the work. The one I'll let you bend the rule on is a V-tool, great for feather lines and fur later. But you can fake almost all of that with your detail knife at first, so don't rush it. Quick reality check on money. A solid beginner knife and a strop will run you less than one fancy dinner. Carving is one of the cheapest crafts to start. The wood is inexpensive too. BeaverCraft makes a beginner set with everything you need, all in one box, but honestly, any well-made whittling knife you keep sharp will get you carving. The brand matters less than the edge. One last thing before we touch wood: set up over a table, not your lap. Keep a small first aid kit within reach, and never carve toward anything you'd hate to cut. We'll cover safe cuts properly in Chapter 3. The wood you choose matters more than your skill at the start. Pick the wrong one, and even a perfect cut fights you. So here's the simple version of what to carve on. Start with basswood, sometimes called lime or linden. It's soft, pale, and has a straight, even grain that makes carving much easier. It cuts cleanly, holds detail well, and is one of the most beginner-friendly woods you can buy. Chances are, many of the beginner projects you've admired were carved from basswood. After that, you can try other carving woods available locally. For example, butternut is a great next step if you can find it. In the US, pine can also work, but its uneven grain and sticky resin often cause tear out and rough cuts. As a general rule, avoid hardwoods like oak, maple, and other furniture-grade woods. Save those for later. What about a stick you found in the yard? That's traditional whittling, but green, wet wood, and dried wood behave completely differently. For learning, a clean, dry basswood block removes one big variable. Now the single idea that confuses every beginner: grain direction. Think of wood as a bundle of tiny straws all running in the same direction. Cut along them or slightly downhill and the fibers slice clean. Cut into them uphill and they tear and fuzz. That right there, glassy versus fuzzy, is grain direction, not a dull knife. If a cut starts to tear, you don't push harder. You stop, turn the wood around, and come at it from the other side. You'll probably spend your first month just learning to feel this. Honestly, read the grain is half of all carving skill. The other half is keeping the knife sharp, which is Chapter 4. Here's where safety and good cuts are the same thing. Hold the knife like you'd hold a small paring knife, firm but relaxed. White knuckles make you tired and sloppy. At the beginning, you really only use a few basic cuts, and these 4 cover almost everything you'll do. Cut 1, the push cut. The knife hand drives the blade forward through the wood in a slow, controlled motion, taking off thin slices of material. Sometimes you can place your thumb on the spine of the blade for extra control and stability. This is called a thumb push cut. Cut 2, the pull cut or paring cut, like peeling an apple toward your thumb. Your thumb is behind the wood, supporting it never in front of the blade's path. You take small, controlled slices, which gives you great precision for shaping curves, faces, and smooth transitions. Cut 3, the stop cut. A straight cut straight down on a borderline. You're not removing wood, yet you're building a little wall. Then you carve toward that wall, and the chip pops off clean, exactly on the line. This is how you get crisp edges. Cut 4 is the V-cut. It's made with 2 angled slices that meet in the middle, creating a clean groove in the wood. It's great for separating shapes, outlining forms, and adding crisp edges. Simple cut, but it makes your carving look much more defined. That's it. Now safety, because everyone gets nicked eventually. The golden rule, always know where the blade goes if it slips. Carve away from your body and away from the hand holding the wood. Follow that rule and you'll avoid most carving injuries. Here's something that surprises a lot of beginners. A sharp knife is safer than a dull one. A dull blade needs force, 4 slips cut you. And take small slices. The big hero cut is exactly when the wood splits and the blade jumps. Posture matters too. Sit down, brace your elbows on your knees or the table, and let your hands work close together. Carving with your arms flailing in mid-air is how you lose control and tire out in 10 minutes. Before you ever carve a project, spend 20 minutes just making chips on a scrap block. Push cut, pull cut, stop cut, V-cut. Feel how the wood gives. That boring practice is the difference between a clean first animal and a frustrated potato. And here's the thing nobody warns you about. Even a brand new knife stops cutting cleanly after about 10 minutes of work. It's not broken. The edge just rolls over microscopically, which is the perfect lead into chapter 4. If your carving knife feels dull after 10 minutes, you don't need a new knife. You need to strop it. Stropping realigns the edge in about 15 seconds, and most beginners never do it. This one habit changes everything. A leather strop is a piece of leather you use with polishing compound to keep your tools sharp between sharpenings. Lay the blade almost flat and drag it backwards, spine leading, edge trailing, always away from the cutting edge, or you'll slice the leather and round your blade. 10 passes per side. How sharp is sharp enough? It should slice cleanly through a sheet of paper or shave the hair on your arm with zero drag. If it's snagging, strop again. Do this every 10 or 15 minutes while you carve, not just when it's hopeless. Now, stropping versus sharpening, people mix these up. Stropping polishes an already good edge. Sharpening on a stone actually removes metal to rebuild an edge that's chipped or truly blunt. As a beginner, you'll strop daily and sharpen rarely. If you do need the sharpening stone, the only secret is a consistent angle. Pick a low angle and keep it the same every stroke. Then finish on the strop to polish. But truly, if you bought a decent knife, you might not touch a stone for a long time. Stropping carries you. And protect that edge between sessions. Don't toss a sharp knife in a drawer to bang against other tools. A simple sheath or tool holder keeps it sharp and keeps your fingers safe when you reach in. For your very first project, carve a mushroom. I know it's not glamorous, but it has a simple round cap and a straight stem, almost no fine detail, and it forgives mistakes. It's perfect for practicing the basic cuts in real wood. It teaches the moves without punishing you. Step 1, draw before you cut. A line where the cap meets the stem, and a center line all the way around so you stay symmetrical. Then make a stop cut on that cap line. This is that wall from chapter 3. Step 2. Shape the stem using a push cut. Push the blade forward in small, controlled slices, removing thin layers of wood. For extra control, you can use a thumb push cut. Work from all sides and slowly narrow the stem toward your stop cut line. Keep turning the block as you go, checking the center line. The chips pop off right at the cap. Don't rush to make it thin and sneak up on it. Step 3. Round the cap. Small pull cuts, rotating the block constantly, shaving the corners off until the dome is smooth. This is where grain direction bites. If a cut starts to tear, stop, spin the mushroom, and carve down the other side. Let the wood show you which direction it wants to be carved. Step 4. Refine the shape under the cap. Use small cuts to undercut the edge slightly so it overhangs the stem. Work slowly, rotating the piece as you go. That tiny shadow line is what makes it read as a mushroom, not just a wooden peg. Step 5. Depth and character last. A few light lines under the cap to suggest gills. You can use a detail knife with small pull cuts or V-cuts, depending on what feels cleaner in the grain. Depth makes shadow, and shadow is what makes it look alive. Step 6. Finishing. Sometimes a clean knife finish actually looks better than sanding, so sand only if you want it smooth and only at the very end. Sanding fixes a good shape, it never rescues a bad one. A wipe of mineral oil or a little beeswax protects the wood and pops the grain. Totally optional, bare wood is fine too. But that one rub is the difference between a block I carved and a thing I put on a shelf. And there it is, your first finished carving. Block to mushroom using nothing but the basic cuts. If yours looks lumpier than mine, that's completely normal. The first one looked way worse than this. Carve 5 of these and watch number 5. Once the mushroom clicks, the natural next projects are a simple spoon. That's where your hook knife earns its place, a little hard, or a chunky animal like a bird. Same 4 cuts, slightly more shaping. You already have every skill they need. Don't carve one project once. Carve the same simple thing 3 or 4 times in a row. Repetition is where the hand learns, and you'll literally watch your own work get cleaner block by block. That's the fastest way to improve. Before you go, the 5 mistakes that make people quit in week 1 so you can skip all of them. We've touched each one, so this is your quick checklist. Mistake 1, a dull knife. You'll blame yourself when it's really the edge. Strop every 10 minutes. Mistake 2, the wrong wood. Hard wood and cracked wood make every cut harder than it needs to be. Start with clean, dry basswood and remove that excuse entirely. Mistake 3, ignoring the grain. If it tears, you're going uphill, rotate, don't force. Mistake 4, no center line, so symmetry drifts and one ear ends up taller than the other. 2 seconds with a pencil fixes it. Redraw the line every time you carve it away. And mistake 5, the big one, sanding too early to rescue a bad shape. It never works. All you end up with is a smoother version of the same lump. Fix the form with the knife first, sand only to finish. Avoid these 5 and you're already ahead of most beginners. One more free of charge, expecting your first piece to look like mine. It won't, and that's fine. Wood carving is all about putting in the reps. Every chip you make is teaching your hand something. The people who get good are just the ones who didn't stop at the first ugly mushroom. That's the whole foundation, the right kit, the right wood, 4 cuts, a sharp edge, and a finished first project. If you only do one thing today, go make 20 practice chips on a scrap block. Reading about carving and actually carving are 2 very different things. Tell me in the comments what you're carving first, mushroom, spoon, or something braver. If you want the step-by-step versions of any chapter here, they're in the playlist right next to this. Now grab a block of wood and go make some chips.